starting to clean.
Hello everyone, and welcome to what it's not going to be a full review. It's going to be a kind of comparison between the new Roborock S7 and the old S5 model, or S50, or this was also called at the beginning the Xiaomi Vacuum 2, which was never a Xiaomi Vacuum 2, it was also Roborock. So I'm taking a comparison between these two of them and to see if it's actually worth upgrading to this and what are the differences between the two models and the generations that were between them. In the box you are going to find a huge manual written in a lot of languages. Then you have here another small guide for setting this up with the app. And the first thing here, this Roborock Vacuum no longer officially works with Mi Home environment. So if you have a lot of Xiaomi devices that had automation, such as turning on the air purifier while the vacuum was running, no longer works, because this one now uses the Roborock app and no longer the Mi Home app. So that's the first thing different until now. So you get, of course, the power cable, and here is the mopping part. And this is interesting. This is the first thing to mention in this video, is the new mop and mopping option. This has a vibrating part, and this will actually scrub the floor, and this goes up to 4 times per minute or something like that. It has a rating somewhere, and this will actually scrub the floor, and this should highly improve the mopping options. Truthfully, that is why I have bought this robot, this new S7 model, because the old S5 model was not very good at mopping. It was just carrying around a wet clothes all around the house, and you have carpets. It gets complicated as you need to create no-go zones or avoid those, so those are not mopped, and you cannot go there to vacuum them with the mop attached. So it was too complicated actually to use the mopping option on that one. And also this was kind of had a limited functionality. When you fill it with water, it just drips away. It doesn't have any kind of control over the water, so you put water, it starts to work. You leave it on the floor, it will make a big puddle there. So not the greatest mopping option. And here is the vacuum itself. There are a lot of differences here also, and we are going to discuss the most interesting ones and compare them with the old S5 model. And this is also much more heavy than the older model. As you can see, it comes back really well, and it has this brush going through a hole here. And there you go. The most interesting part starts from here. So you get a new brush, and here is the second feature. On the older S5 model, you get this combined brush here with bristles and silicone. This was decent, it was doing the job, but it was very hard to clean because you get a lot of hairs and other things stuck into that, and it's very hard to clean. You are going to end up cleaning it or replacing it after some time, but that was very hard to do. On this one, there's nothing to get tangled, or it will be very easy to clean it out. But that's not so important as is this thing. So this has a kind of a, not call it hover system, it has this mobility. So this will actually, when the vacuum is in the normal working position, this hangs, and it has this silicone here. So this kind of follows the terrain and creates vacuum and sucks in the dirt. So when it goes over a bump, over a carpet, this tries to follow that terrain and keep it more secured and more closely to the ground. Well, when this vacuum goes half on a carpet, half on a hard floor, or goes over something that's not even, that brush will just not adjust perfectly. It will be either too tall or too low and will create space, and it will lose vacuuming power. On the new S7, this is completely flexible in all directions, so this follows the terrain a lot more better, and it creates more vacuum over rough terrain. Another difference is the side brush. This has 5 fingers, silicone fingers, while the old brush had bristles and there were 3 fingers. Not a huge improvement or anything else, but this actually cleans a bit better around the walls, so it pulls better the dust than this one, and that's kind of an improvement. Then there is another improvement on this type of sensors, the cliff sensors. Those avoid this going over the stairs. On the older model, the front sensors were very exposed, and if you had differences up to 1 or 2 centimeters, but they were not in a ramp or were just a ledge or something, it was going to hit that, and sooner or later that sensor was cracked. So you need to take caution with that. On the newer model, the sensors are encased better, and they have kind of a sliding protective plastic here, and that avoids the damage to that. On the top side, you get a similar design. The LiDAR sensor is here. Then underneath you get the dustbin. The dustbin looks similar. It has a slightly bigger volume on this vacuum than on the S5, but it has a different design because this vacuum also has an option for auto emptying. You can buy a separate station for it. It goes there to empty this bin, so it has a different design because of that. Otherwise, it's kind of similar technology, but they complicated things a bit because of that. Now the filter is here. The filter looks like this, but it's also washable like the one on the S5. That's a good thing, so you don't need to buy these too often. You can wash them, but it's very important to be sure that they are completely dry before reusing them. Otherwise, it's not going to end up well for the vacuum. Also, the water tank is now encased here, so the water tank is always on. You don't need to attach it anymore, so you're just going to put water inside and that's it. And it has total different working system. As you can see, it has a suction hose inside. It has a water pump, so it will turn on or off the water. It controls the flow of the water, unlike the S5 model, which just starts to drip when this is filled up. It has those small things here, so they are something like ceramic capillary things, so water just flows through them and keeps this wet, but when it's stationary it keeps it wet anyway. So this one controls the water flow, which is yet another huge improvement. Then it's the new so-called VibraRise thing, and that's the plate here that we are going to attach the mopping part, just like that. So this one will raise up when it detects a carpet, and when there's no carpet, it's hard floor, it goes down. So now it actually does what I wanted it to do. You can avoid carpets with no-go zones and other things like that. You don't need to do anything else. If you don't have very thick carpets, now you are not going to soil them up or wet them with this robot. It's just going to do its job. It's going to vacuum and mop the hard floors, and when it finds a carpet, it's going to raise up this. It's going to vacuum the carpet and then do its job continuously without any kind of other things to mess around. The docking station also has some small improvements. For instance, it has these small bristles here, so those are going to clean the contacts of the vacuum when it goes to dock, so it establishes a better contact when charging. Also, besides having a lot of silicone padding, rubber padding, so this will not slip when the vacuum docks in. It also has an pre-applied here double-sided sticky tape, and when you are sure that this one should stay here, you can just glue it to the floor so it will not move around when the vacuum is going to dock. And now let's see the app. First I'm going to try to actually install it in the Mi Home app. It's not going to work probably, but I'm going to try that. I'm going to enable location, wireless, and also Bluetooth. Then I'm going to open the Mi Home app, and now I'm going to try to search for it. And I'm going to add here, add the device, and it's now scanning. And it has detected my toothbrush, but there's no vacuum here. And let's try manually. So I'm going to try to search for it. Let's see. Vacuum. And you get some models here. And there's no S7. As you can see, plenty of models, but there's no S7 here, and that's not very nice of them. Anyway, I'm going to open the app and I'm going to search for the device and allow location, and it has found it instantly. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select my wireless, which is already selected, and I'm going to enter the password for it, and I'm going to select next. As you can see, the plugin is similar with the Mi Home. It's almost identical. It's the same plugin probably used with the other Roborocks. And I'm going to connect.
Connecting to Wi-Fi. Stand by.
Even the voice is almost the same. So maybe after some time it's going to be integrated into Mi Home, or maybe after it gets installed in the Roborock app, it's going to be available in the Mi Home, because there are some devices like that. Some of the E-Lite lightning options are similar. You need to use the original E-Lite app to add them, and then after that they are going to be available in the Mi Home, although it's the same environment for them. So I'm going to click on use now. And I agree. And you know, the interface is very similar with the other one, and there's already a new firmware to be updated. So what does it do? Squash some bugs and improve the user experience. So why not? I'm going to update it right now. Okay, so firmware update was complete, and here it's still installing it, but I can go back here. I'm going to refresh. So I think that now it has updated to up to date, and now we can check the app. So we have here the full cleaning, room cleaning, zone cleaning. It shows that it's now charging. It has options to go cleaning, and here we have options for map saving is not enabled. You have no-go zones, edit room, customize, and you have the map managing. You can do map saving. So if you have map saving, now you can enable no-go zones and advanced settings. Then you have the single level. If you have a multi-level home, you can have multiple maps to manage, so it knows that it's upstairs, downstairs, in the basement. Right, and then you have here the cleaning options, and now you have more options here because you have the vacuum power and the scrub intensity. The scrub intensity dictates the Vibra mop will work, how fast and how good the cleaning effect will be. Also you have this deep option. The deep option will change the normal working pattern. So in the standard pattern, you know that the Roborock will do a S cleaning or zigzagging around. On the deep cleaning, after it finishes going in one full zigzag around a room, then it will do another zigzag, a cross zigzag around the first cleaning zigzag. So it cleans the surface two times and from two different directions, making it a lot more better. Then you have customized option. Here you can edit functions such as deep clean, light clean, vacuuming, mop only for each room in particular. So that's very useful. For instance, if you want for it to go into the kitchen and do a deep cleaning after you have did the mess there, then it will go there and it will do a deep clean. But in the hallway, maybe I just want to vacuum the carpet and that's it. I don't want it any kind of mopping. So you can now choose that and it's very nice. And now in the other apps here, the other app options here, you have the map managing, you have robot settings, and here you can rename it, you can adjust the lights for the buttons if you want to see them. You have this nice status indicator here, like it's from a action movie with a car. And you have child lock that will disable the buttons. You need to keep them pressed for a longer time to work. And you can adjust do not disturb mode so that it will not start at midnight. You can adjust units there. The carpet settings, you have the carpet boost. When it detects carpet, it goes full power on the motor. You have options here what to do to rise the mop, avoid it or ignore it. So that's pretty nice. Maybe if you have thick carpets, very thick carpets, maybe the rise of the mop is not sufficient enough, so you can avoid the carpet totally so it will not get wet. So very nice job there. Then the robot voice, you have here various languages and volume settings. You can of course do schedule, spin and go, remote control, it's a gimmick. You have this go forward, go backward. You have spot clean and go to docking. You have the cleaning history. It's new, so it doesn't have any kind of history there. Maintenance, it keeps you a reminder of all the consumables and what to do, when to change the filter, side brush, main brush, the mop and sensors to clean them. Then you have a user manual here with some guides and of course the firmware update options and device sharing. But device sharing, you need another phone with the Roborock app, so not with the Mi Home app. And now that we have seen a small demo of it going on vacuuming option, here is with the water. So I really like the tank. Water is inside and there is no leakage when you maneuver this around.
Water tank installed.
Alright, and now let's check the options. And let's see what we have here. We have new maps found because it did a small map of what it did previously in my test. And now I'm going to go to the clean option, and it's on scrub intensity intense and on balanced cleaning. So as you have seen in the short video, the mop now works exactly as it's described, and I wanted it to work. It raises up over the carpet. The carpet is perfectly dry, while on the hard floor it drops right away and cleans up really nice. Also, if you leave the vacuum unattended for a long period of time with the water inside. There is no water on the floor. The mop here will just simply slowly dry up a bit, and that's it. It's not going to leave a puddle like the old model, so that's absolutely great, and again what I wanted it to do. Also, the noise has been a bit decreased when it's vacuuming. It's slightly more silent than the older model. It's not having that motor whining. Well, of course, this is also new. That one you've seen earlier really has a lot of working hours on it, so maybe the motor went a bit more noisy than it was at the beginning. Nonetheless, this one sounds more has a more lower sound, not that turbine whining, so definitely better. So it cleans really nice, it vacuums really well. I'm going to believe that it has more suction power, because you can really feel the output here, and it's blowing a lot more air on the balanced mode in comparison with the older generation. This also has more suction power rated, producer rated. Also, it cleans really well the hard floors, and it doesn't let them damp, and it doesn't mess up the carpets. So for me, it's perfect. And yes, indeed, this is a true upgrade to the S5. So if you want better mopping in comparison with the S5, which I consider not a mopping robot because of all those cons, then yes, you can go right away and get the S7, and you are not going to be disappointed by it. If you have any kind of questions about this or want to find more information about it, ask me with a comment, and I'm going to try to answer you as fast and as best as possible. Until my next video, see you and bye bye.